I'm excited to introduce our first guest on Wellness Wisdom this evening, Tracy Elgert. I hope I'm saying that right. Tracy is a level 3 Reiki master and utilizes her intuition and spirit guides during each session. She focuses on the client's needs while clearing stagnant energies and revitalizing the void spaces left behind. Being an empath gives Tracy an inside look at problem areas, allowing her to aid her clients' alignment. All her work is done in her client's highest good and divine love and light. Tracy, welcome. Thank you for being here with us today.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Oh, I'm so excited to chat with you. Intuition is one of my favorite topics, and those of you who have worked with me or heard me speak know that that's one of the things that I love to talk about. So I'm always interested in learning about, how and people kind of came about their gifts or starting to, understand that intuition or use it a little bit. What did that look like for you? And have you always known that you were intuitive? Did you, have experiences as a child? What does that look like?
For myself, as a child, like a young child, I could see spirits. So I could see a ghost or silhouettes of people. I didn't really know what that was. And when I would tell my mom about it, she'd be like, shh, don't talk about that. She goes, you go to Catholic church or you go to Catholic school. If you say anything, you're going to get the strap and you're going to get in trouble. Just don't tell anybody. So I didn't. And so I just kind of ignored it. So you go through life and you do your thing. And then, I as a teenager, it kind of came back a bit because of course you just learn that it's just there. I didn't know that everybody couldn't see spirits. Like I honestly didn't know. Because we weren't allowed to talk about it. And then I just started to just know things. Like I just knew stuff. I know stuff about people or about situations, and I would have no idea how. And I never understood it. Like there was no class, like there was nothing. So now like I'm going to be 50. So it was probably, oh my gosh, my daughter graduated high school, so she was 18, and my son graduated university, so he was like 24. And now they're 28 and 24. So, they're at that point. I was like, oh, I need to know who I am. Like I didn't know who I was because I went into like mom mode, like you were just mom. So I really started to dive in and start to ask questions and talk to people and started to take classes after class after class. And I really started to listen to what I just knew would be like people's pain. Like I could feel their pain, or I could see things that would be, I don't know, that they had like a really rough go for a while, and I could tap into that and I understood it, but I didn't know how to approach people with that. So that's kind of like my how I kind of started with it.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so in addition to kind of using that intuition, your introduction mentioned that you also use your spirit guides in your session. Yes. Tell us a little bit more about what a spirit guide is for people who might not know, or what's your interpretation and how do you use them? How do they become a part of your session?
Okay, so for myself, I'm a channeler, so I can channel higher beings. That's how I see them. So I consider like my spirit guides. I have a few different ones. Some of them, like some of my guides come through when I'm tapped into energy. That's not mine, like my client's energy. They'll tell me kind of like where to go, or they'll make an area in my body hurt. That's this person's hurting, like the client's hurting, which doesn't stay with me, but it just gives me the, okay, you need to go here. And then sometimes, which is weird for clients when they first hear it, because I'll start talking in, like if somebody's passed away, I'll start talking in their voice. And it's very, the first couple times it happened, I didn't know what to do. Like I literally I freaked out, like full on freaked out, because I didn't know that that could happen. Again, there was no class that said, hey, guess what? Your spirit guides can talk through you. So in that context, I was very freaked out because I had a client on the table, and all of a sudden I started talking, and I was her grandma. And I was talking about sugar cookies. Well, like I didn't know what to do with that. So again, I went to people who knew about it, but I don't remember. So when my spirit guides are talking through me, I just know, like, I just know. It's like a knowing. It's like I'll see a light beam in my mind's eye, and I know that they're there, or I feel them come close to me. If it's, say, your spirit guide, I generally, my voice will change, my posture changes, my movements change, and then I don't remember what I say to you. So yeah, so those are different ways of spirit guides. So yeah, it's, for me, it's a universal team of experts that kind of aid us, guide us, show us, help us. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I love that. And I love that, you know, some of those experiences, quite honestly, did freak you out, right? Or did, you know, take you aback a little bit. And that's what I always say is we need to normalize some of these things, because it does happen to a lot of us. So the more understanding we have, the better, you know, we're able to manage it. So speaking of managing, many of us are empaths, and, you know, some of us kind of take on this energy of others or feel this energy of others. Do you have any tools, or what are those tools that you use to help ensure that you don't take on that energy, or even that you don't experience, you know, empathetic overload, or, you know, take on that energy? What tools do you have?
I do. Actually, all of my clients that are empaths, and anybody that I meet that is an empath, my very, very first go-to is to have tea tree oil up and down your spine. That helps empaths. So each and every one of you are probably empaths that are on here. So when we go out into public, we have all of these emotions coming at us. And I mean, especially in this last 2 years, it has been crazy, like the fear that's been out there, the anger, the animosity, and it's all been so hyper focused. So, I mean, I literally had tea tree on the bottom of my feet. I have tea tree going up my spine. That's just to leave the house. And I bubble myself. I put myself in my beautiful little white bubble, and off I go. It's my own little world. And I'm very happy in my own little bubble, like very happy, because nobody comes in unless I allow them in. So I suggest that for everybody. But I work in, like, my day job is I work at a Shoppers Drug Mart, and I'm a manager. So you imagine all of that coming in. So when I leave work, I literally hand shower myself, and I cut the energies. I intentionally cut all the energies that could be from work. And then I get into my car and I white bubble myself again, and off I go to home, and I just go. So I get my own little bubble. So I don't want to bring any of that energy home. And I wouldn't expect any of you wanting to bring that energy home, because it's not our energy to carry all the time. We can help people through it. We can aid them. We can help pull it out, remove it. Any negative energy that does come my way, I try to give it back to Mother Earth and transmute it back into something positive.
Beautiful. I love that. And tea tree oil is so simple and, you know, wonderful, easy to use. And it's something that everybody can use.
Exactly.
So when you talk about, you know, energy and helping clients and removing that stagnant energy, why is it important to do that? Why is it, you know, one, important to take care of our energetic bodies? And why is it important to move that stagnant energy? And how do you do that?
Okay, so my way, the way I do it, the way I've learned how, and kind of adjusted a basic Reiki session, is I can literally pull that energy. Like, I see that, like, a stagnant energy will cause like inflammation in your joints. It'll cause muscle cramping. It'll cause really bad moods or instant like your moods change like bam, bam, bam. And it'll also heartache, like where you just can't seem to get past something. So for those, like those layers are very, can become very like detrimental to our health, to our mental health, to our physical health. It can affect our age. It can affect so many, like our growth, because we all want to grow. We all want to expand. All of our lessons that we're trying to learn in our soul contracts that we're doing. It's important to pull that out so we make room for that new step, that new level up, the new energy that needs to come in, and having the energy flow through our bodies cyclically and nice and calmly and relaxing. It makes it so we have a clear mind, we have a clear state, we have like functional steps to go forward. And that's how I see it. So when I have a client and they have that stagnant energy and they're feeling stuck and lethargic and kind of like, oh, poor me, like Eeyore, you know, like looks like rain. So when you pull that out, it's kind of like, hey, let's go. Hop, 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 I'm Tigger now. So it's like switches it. It gives them energy.
It's like spring cleaning.
Exactly. Yeah. Spring cleaning.
Dusting it off.
Right.
Yeah, I love that. So in your journey and the things that you've experienced and, you know, getting into helping others, how have you learned, again, maybe there's a tool or there's a specific, you know, coach, or maybe it's a book that you've read. How did you learn to really trust yourself, to trust this journey that you're on, and to really trust your intuition?
I'm still learning. Still learning. Every day I question my trust. Like I question that one thing. Like, you know, you wake up in the morning and you get ready for work, or you get ready for your day and you're moving forward and you're doing your thing. And then all of a sudden you'll be like, yeah, you know, I shouldn't really go out right now. I'm going to wait 10 minutes, whatever that, you know, you just know that you shouldn't. And then I go anyway, and I'm like, shit, whoops.
Oh, good.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I shouldn't have gone there. I shouldn't have done that. Like I should have waited because there was a car accident that happened, or I've gone out and been splashed with water getting into the car. And I'm like, oh, you know, you just follow it. So I still learn. I wish there was a book that said 1, 2, 3, just you're going to trust, but you still question yourself. You go through it all of the time. Every day you question something. A lot of things you're like, yeah, okay, that's going to work. It's going to be this, that, whatever. And then something is like, yeah, you know, I don't know. And because this seems too good to be true, you know, those are the ones that I'm always like, yeah, you know, I don't think that'll happen. And then it happens. I'm like, oh, I should have just done it. And I'm so spirit, I call it spirit slapping. So like spirit slap. So you get slapped a lot. So yeah, you knew that. You already knew that. So why didn't you do it? So there's, really no, I don't have a book. I haven't written one, and I'm not too sure I know how to write a book, but I really wish there was a 1, 2, 3 for that. So yeah.
Absolutely. And maybe that is part of the journey is, you know, the trusting and the doubting and the understanding around that. And those, you know, the repetitive signs and the messages that we receive. Right.
Yeah. And there's also like a lot of times if it's something I'm really questioning, I'll be like, how is this serving me? Is this like an old lesson? Is it? And I kind of check in with my ego and my shadow self, like, cause I have two sides. And to make sure that it's really the right thing. Like I do check-ins.
Right.
How is it serving me? Is it going to kill me? Is it this? Like I ask myself those questions, and people will look at me going, what are you asking yourself? Well, I just need to make sure this is not going to make me die. And I go through like a series of 5 questions, and then and if I'm okay with all of them, I'm like, okay, let's go for it. So yeah.
Right. Perfect. Let's talk about meditation. Do you meditate? And if so, why? And how does it help you?
I do meditate, not as often as I probably should. And I say that and it's so bad because I should probably meditate every day, but I probably only meditate like twice a week. Because when I meditate, I go so deep into meditation. I fly off into yonder land and I have no idea what I've really meditated about. So I thought that was really wrong. And often when I meditate, I have like all these doors open. So many things come in, and my brain isn't fast enough in a human state to take it all in and understand what's happening. So when that happens, I feel like my brain like goes out into like a mushroom cloud, and it's just all this information, and I want to understand each and every single thing, and I can't. So it's super frustrating for me. So I don't meditate every day for that reason. But when I do meditate, I generally ground myself and I take 7 deep breaths, and I'm like gone, like I'm off somewhere, traveling or doing something. I don't really know, but yeah.
So on your journey, through what you've experienced, what would you say has been the biggest struggle, and how have you overcome that?
My biggest struggle, there's probably a few, but I would say my biggest struggle would be trusting myself, like fully trusting my intuition, fully understanding that when I write down somebody's name that I don't know, that is for somebody else. Especially like when you're doing like a medium reading and you're getting this information, it means absolutely nothing to you why you keep seeing a train and a yellow spoon, but to somebody, it means something. So like somebody on here, that train and yellow spoon means something to somebody on here. I don't know why. And I don't know who, but it's like trusting that's what I'm seeing. That would be my hardest struggle. But I'm learning to just spit it out and kind of let people know that I'm a medium, because that would be the other thing that I struggle with a lot, is letting people know that I am a medium, because people look at me like I'm completely crazy. So it's like, yeah, it's getting over that judgment of people. And I shouldn't really care, because I can do that and they can't. And I'm really sorry that they can't, but it makes it kind of rough. But other than that, yeah, it can be interesting. Yeah.
And that's why community is important, and finding like-minded people who do support you on your journey and understand what you do and appreciate it. So then what would be the most significant win on your wellness journey so far?
Oh, seeing the transformation of a client.
Tell us
literally seeing them come in and being like just lost and not knowing which direction to go and not feeling like they're worth anything. And then after you have a couple of sessions and seeing them like just start to blossom into this beautiful little human, and knowing that they're starting to take steps for their soul journey instead of being held back. That fills my heart so much. It's just, I am so grateful I'm able to watch and be a part of that transition. It's just beautiful to me.
Amazing. So when we talk about holistic health, we talk about, really the health of the body, mind, and soul. How do you incorporate that? How is that important to you? How do you incorporate it into your day-to-day, making sure that you're taking care of your own self and taking care of yourself holistically? What does that look like for you?
Well, ideally, I would like to get 8 hours sleep, but being menopausal, not that anybody cares about that, but it's really, really horrible. I'm sorry, Patrick. And there's another gentleman on here. But you don't have to deal with that yet, or ever maybe. But not sleeping is one of my worst ones. So I try really hard to get 8 hours, but I generally get about 5.5. I try to move every day, and I eat super clean, minus the chocolate. And I have my own healing. Like I go for my own healing sessions at least every 2 weeks myself. Because if I'm healing other people, I myself have to continue to be healed. So I really take that super important. I use essential oils for a lot of my healing. I love outside. I love plants. I love the beach. I'm not super great on dirt, but I love the sand, water. I drink lots of water. So yeah, holistically, I don't really see a traditional doctor unless there's like nothing else I can do. I mean, I still think that they're important, but if I can't heal it holistically first, then that's when I'll go see it. So it normally takes me a good year to get to a doctor. So that would be my don't do that. But yeah, that's my own thing. I don't find that. Yeah.
I love what you said about, going for your own healing, because I think, again, many of us are empaths and healers. And sometimes we think that we can do all of it ourselves and that we should be able to do all of it ourselves. So I appreciate that you brought that to the fore. That allows us to continue to serve other people. Mm-hmm. So we're almost out of time. So I'm going to ask, if there's any questions, to please start kind of putting those in the chat. Again, put them in all caps. So last kind of question from me, what's one piece of advice that you would give to someone who's maybe just getting started on their wellness journey?
Don't expect it to happen overnight.
There's no magic pill? What?
No, really go step by step. And I mean, there's lots of ups and downs. There's lots of light and darks. There's lots of really getting to know you inside. And you would think you would know yourself really, really well inside. But as you progress and go, your vibration goes higher, new things happen that you're like, where did that come from? Yeah, not a clue. So yeah, just take it step by step and not expect it to happen overnight.
That's great advice. So there is a question from the audience. What's the craziest thing you experienced during a mediumship reading? That's a great question.
That would probably be light language.
So tell us about that.
I can show you.
Go for it. If it's coming to you, just go with it. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. That would be.
Wow.
So yeah.
Wonderful.
Don't ask me what it means because I don't know.
But it was brought to us for a reason, and we appreciate you sharing that with us.
Yeah, that would be the other because there's no actual translation. It's a feeling for what everybody receives. That's the weirdest thing.
Beautiful, beautiful, amazing, incredible. Tracey, thank you so much for being with us.